if you want more.
Why don't you just make 10 louder and make 10 be the top number and make that a little louder?
These go to 11.
Good. How are you?
Doing great, man. Doing great.
Hey, fantastic. Hey, it's good catching up with you. I know I caught up with you a handful of times, which one of the things that I'll do is I'll go back because there was a particular feature that I did on the McAuley Shanker, and there was this whole story that you had. And at the time I was using actually a micro cassette recorder to record the interview, and the thing cut out on me in the middle of the story. So I'm going to have you repeat that one because it was a good one. It was a good one. It was around the time Andy Johns passed. So it had something to do with Andy Johns. So it's been a little bit, but we'll get back to that here in a minute. Right now, you got some new stuff to promote, which is a new solo record, the third, I believe, right? Third
well,
solo
they call
record.
it the third. The first one was never really a solo record, but yes.
So tell me about this, because you've been relatively busy. I mean, I mean, we know you from McAuley Shanker, Michael Shanker Fest, MSG, and then most Grand Prix, and Survivor too, I believe.
Yes, 6 years.
So 6 years. But anyways, solo record. How did this come about? And, why do you think it was the right time to get this thing out?
I'll try to make this short. So, Frontiers had asked me to do a solo record. I really wasn't up for doing a solo record. I thought, who wants to hear Robin McAuley solo? So I kind of ditched it. And 6 months or a year after that, I get a call from Jeff Pilson, and he's putting together a Frontiers project, which later became Black Swan.
Right.
But the Black Swan record, Out Shake the World, had amazing response to it. Loved the whole band. And once that came out, Frontiers came back on the line and said, hey, to keep the momentum going, how about that solo record right now? Then I got into Standing on the Edge. I had no idea what I was going to do. So I collaborated with a lot of people that I had worked with throughout the Grand Prix period, the MSG period, and Survivor period. And I put that sort of a record of collaboration together, not knowing what else to do. Great reception on that, thank God. And Into Generation, Mine, second record for Black Swan. And we put that out, and just amazing the response we had on that one. And so label comes again and goes, well, now we need another solo record. Right. And so I was kind of late with this one. I should have actually submitted this to the label in June, but I'm somewhere in Europe with Shanker, and that got extended.
Right.
And I bumped into Alessandro Vecchio in Sweden on one of the festivals. And we chatted, and I said, dude, I am just like late. And he goes, I haven't even given you all the songs yet. So we were kind of both in the same boat.
Sure.
We worked out the plan. I came back. I got head on into it. And they had everything back, I think, by the end of, middle of September or something like that. And he got to mixing it. It's ready. It's called Alive.
Right.
All original songs, nothing carried over from before. A little edgier than Standing on the Edge. And first single came out 2 weeks ago or something.
Right.
The title track. And today, Friday the 13th.
There you go.
The second one drops, called Feels Like Hell.
Yeah. What a great title for the day, right?
Title, right?
Right. So, yeah, and I've seen that video a couple times already. It's awesome.
Thank you. Late night Hollywood. That's where it was. Yeah. We didn't have to bring any props. They were already readily available to us.
Out of curiosity, I mean, back in the day, because I know the videos were what a monster budget people would get for videos. In comparison, I mean, I'm guessing this was at a shoestring compared to that. But is it amazing at the amount of cool footage you can get with the bare minimum requirements?
If you have a director who, in conjunction with whoever the artist is, has an idea, you get the location together, it's good camera work,
right?
The Blair Witch Project proved proved that you don't need the mucho big budget
Right.
to
Right.
create
Right.
a mucho great movie. And,
Right.
so there we were out in the streets of Hollywood at 11, 12 o'clock at night, with some cool footage, ready-made lighting,
Mhm.
fire
Yeah.
trucks and paramedics all over the place, dogs,
Sure.
everything that we needed for this type
Sure.
of video we had a preordained set ready made for us, and all we just had to do was walk through it and get some cool angles, and
Yeah.
we had a blast. And the results, I think, are great. It's like a little mini movie.
Yeah, it is. Yeah. Out of curiosity, how long do you guys shoot for on that thing?
I think we started at we were on the street at like about 6:30. We went through till
Okay.
about midnight, and we
Okay.
froze our asses off.
Yeah. It looks like it.
I can tell you.
Yeah. Right. For this record, Alive, you said all fresh stuff. How much involvement did you have in this, and were the songs tailored to you?
Well, the writers, the co-writers were similar to the first one. A
Okay.
few different writers on this one that worked with Alessandro. He sent me a bucket of songs, and then there's two guys out of Sweden that I work with, Ulrich Longfist and Pete
Okay.
Albenberg, and they sent me a bucket of songs. And of course, everybody wants their song to be worked on. I get the bare music tracks, and that's all.
Okay.
I don't want guitar solos. I don't want any of that stuff on there. I want to hear just the bare chord setup of the songs. And that's what I get. And I select the 12 songs, and I tell Alessandro what I want to work on, and he goes, go for it. Let's see what you got. And I write all the lyrics, all the melodies.
Okay. Nice.
All
Okay.
of that. So everything that comes out at the end, you can blame me.
Okay. Yeah, I was wondering about that because I would figure it sounds like the songs have been tailored to you, and I guess that answers the question as to you coming in with your melodies.
I have a particular type of phrasing, and I don't mind singing something that somebody else wrote. I don't have any problem with that at all. When it comes down to this sort of stuff, I think I know where my capabilities are. And I work within those parameters, and I do the best that I can to work the best melodies and the most interesting lyric that I can find. And voila, this is what you get.
Nice. I was going to ask you, I mean, what do you do in particular to kind of keep your chops as far as your vocals in such great shape? Because again, as you get older, things kind of start eroding a little bit.
Yeah, I'm really unsociable. When I'm done talking to you, I won't be talking to anybody else.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Wait a minute. How's that go over with the wife?
Yeah, she loves it. She goes, I don't need to hear it.
Right. There you go.
I've never smoked in my life, so that's a big no-no for me.
Sure.
I don't know if that helps. I don't know if that helps, but it helps me. When I'm working, I love a glass of wine, but when I'm working, no alcohol. I stay fit, I stay well, I stay healthy. I'm a real early morning person. I don't stay up all night. I don't like late nights, particularly unless I'm out on the road night. I don't have a choice. So every opportunity that I have, then I use it to my advantage. It helps me. I can't speak for everybody. That's just what works for me. I love walking. I could walk for hours. I love all that. I love the open air. So I just try to, at my age, I go, you have to stay healthy or you're going to go downhill real fast. And I'm not ready to go downhill.
Sure. And what about with travel? And I'll bring this up and kind of connect it to something that I saw that you posted on social media. I know you posted that you were doing some kind of corporate gig, and that view did not suck.
But it didn't suck. We were just on Puerto Vallarta. We did a show down there. Yeah. Yeah.
And how do you stay healthy with those travel, those trips? Because again, that's when people can catch a bug, and next thing you know, that derails.
You're absolutely right. So I love to travel. I love travel. I learn a lot traveling. I love different cultures. I love it. It's one of the great little sideshows of touring. It just is. And I love architecture. And also anybody goes, hey dude, we're going to Bolivia. I'm going, I'm there.
All right.
And now, of course, with today's climate, there is the potential of the big bug floating around. So, airports, there's not too many people in airports, right? So I don't care if people are staring at me. It's important that I'm healthy, so I'll wear the mask. Even long before pandemic, I would have a scarf over my face because
Oh, okay.
I don't need to be sitting on a plane and somebody right,
Sure.
he's right next to
Right.
me, or he starts sneezing, the guy behind me, and it's spewing through the little
Sure.
gap in your seat,
Right.
right?
Yeah.
And so I have always had a covering over my
Mm,
face, and,
nice.
and that's just something that I've always done. Does it help? It helps me.
Sure.
Um, and tour is oh my god, touring is a big bug spreader.
Hmm.
People are shaking hands, people are not shaking hands, people are hugging, complete total strangers, all wonderful, wonderful
Sure.
people. But
Right.
you're somewhere else. You're outside the safety net, and you have a responsibility to take care of business.
Hmm.
That's basically all I do. I rarely get sick. Rarely, very, very rarely. And I
And
take tons of vitamins every day.
well, there you go. Yeah, there you go. I was going to say that must have been amazing to not come down with any kind of illness, especially when you guys were doing the Michael Schenker Fest, because then that's
Never got
adding more
COVID.
vocalists.
I've not had COVID. I've tested a million times. My wife's a nurse.
Right.
Her job requires her to test about 3 times a week. And
Right.
she mixes with lots of different people. And if I hear her even, sniffling, I take
Sure.
I take a test. I take
Yeah.
a test. I'm not a hypochondriac, but
Sure.
I'm a really bad patient, and she
Right.
does not want me to be sick because
Well, there you go.
she has to put up with
Yeah.
me if I'm sick.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. I've not come down with the COVID either. And,
Good for
I'm
you.
just kind of common sense stuff, I think.
Isn't
Yeah.
that what it is, though? That's what it
Yeah.
is. It's like
I'm
I'm
a
protected.
little, a little extra more common sense. I think going
Yeah,
to gigs and stuff now, carrying more sanitizer and wipes and all that kind of stuff. And
and it's
yeah,
not such a big deal.
no, not
It's not
not
such
not bad a deal. No, I
no.
mean, and plus when you think of the stuff out there floating around, it's like,
Oh,
yeah, I don't want to come down. You know what
right.
I mean?
Yeah,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
that's where I'm at. That's
yeah.
exactly where I'm at. Yeah, yeah. I'm sorry you're sick, but don't make me sick.
Right, right. And Black Swan, I know you touched on that and how the critical acclaim that you guys got on the first record, and then it happens again on the second record. So imagine there's going to be another record at some point down the road,
I'm
right?
hearing. I heard a report there is. I heard it from the
Okay.
boss at the label that or one of his top faves, and he sees a third
Hmm.
record, and I'm going, oh, good, good. It's a great band. Yeah.
Great original, live. I mean, hard rock
Yeah.
contemporary band with current sounding music and
Yeah.
stuff like that. But I think once you get like a third record, wouldn't you think that would be a good opportunity to maybe hit the road and do select dates, being that your guys are all based in
Yeah,
North
well, actually,
America?
Reb is actually in Pittsburgh,
Okay.
but Jeff is here. I'm here. Matt used to be here. I think Matt's back in New Hampshire right now
Hmm.
with his family. But we would certainly have enough material to draw on,
For sure.
um,
Right.
and it's forever talked about. Uh, I'm not sure what the climate is now with where Whitesnake is at. I don't know if they're going
Hmm.
back to the road.
Right.
So Reb has still the winger stuff, and I think he's doing some other solo stuff as well. Jeff, they've announced that Foreigner will start tapering off
Right.
at the end of this latest session, and Jeff's also got himself involved with another Frontiers project with Revolution Saints together with Joel Hoekstra
Oh, that's right.
and
Yeah.
even Castronova. So in a perfect world, I'd love to do some Black Swan shows. There is the Frontiers Festival going on this year that I'm going to be
Hmm.
a part of. So a lot of the solo stuff
Oh,
will
good.
will get a chance to go live. And I've been talking to Reb. I'm hoping that Reb might be there with Winger, maybe. And if
Hmm.
he is, we plan to incorporate some Black Swans into it because
Oh, nice.
the band is killer. So one way or the other.
Sure.
Yeah,
Uh,
we're going to try and make it work.
Yeah, I'm curious. Any chances of recording any live the live performance? Because I know a lot of live performances are taken from that festival.
Yeah, I heard
and
yesterday already that there's probably plans. I know yesterday, very very early morning yesterday, they were planning on like a VIP portion of the show where a
Mhm.
lot of artists will come together and perform which way.
Right.
And I'm sure all of that's going to be recorded and I don't think we're going to miss out on the opportunity.
Right.
So we
Well,
better be on our A game,
sure.
because I don't know who's going to be around to fix the bloopers.
Right. Exactly.
Right?
Oh, that's
So,
awesome.
so it better be good. Yeah.
Yeah. And like I was saying, I got a chance to talk to you. One of the times was right around the time of Andy Johns' passing, and which he worked with you guys on the Perfect Timing record. And at that point, what was going on at that point with Michael? Because it shows that he really wanted you to be the partner in the band by changing the
Yeah, the name and
the
stuff.
name of the band and stuff. Like,
Yeah.
take us inside that a little bit.
Yeah, well, the whole name thing was Michael's idea. There's
Hmm.
no question up or down, in or out of it, and that came about because I was sitting on a massive re-record of Stairway to Heaven with
Oh,
Bobby Kimball.
okay.
That project was called Far Corporation. It was out of Frankfurt in Germany. We sold like 2 million singles just on that remake, just in the UK
Hmm.
alone. Rudolf Schenker heard it on the radio. You couldn't not hear it on the radio,
Right.
right? And Rudolph says, "Huh, I really like this. Maybe we should." And Michael was auditioning singers at the time, and he
Hmm.
goes, we should find out who this is."
Right.
3 years prior to that, in my Grand Prix days, Michael had shown up at one of our shows together with Chris Glenn, the bass player, the late and great Cozy Powell. And the very next day, I had a call to come and rehearse and join Michael Schenker Group. And I went, I
Wow.
can't because I'm actually going on tour with the opening act for Sammy Hagar's Standing Hampton.
Oh,
And I
wow.
got such
Yeah.
bad press out of it because I had
Sure.
I refused,
Hmm.
I had no option. 3 years fast forward, it comes round again. And I was the last of 17 singers.
Mm.
Klaus Meiner, Rudolf Schenker, the Scorpions management were all part and parcel of
Right.
pick this guy. And the whole idea, to answer your question, was they wanted Michael to have an in at rock radio in the US.
Right.
Yes, of course, he did all the UFO stuff,
Hmm.
which is some of my favorite stuff in the world, right?
Hmm.
But they wanted MTV, they wanted VH1, and I was laughing, going, "What do you want me to do?"
Right. Right.
Right? Well,
Right.
we think you could put the commercial edge to it. Okay, so we recorded Perfect Timing. We released a bunch of singles off it. I got shit for it because
Yeah.
what did you do to Michael Schenker? Now it's way too commercial.
Ah.
And so it's like, what are you supposed to do? Suddenly we're all over US radio. We got videos on VH1,
Hmm.
MTV. We got the tours. We got Def Leppard. We got Whitesnake. We got Rush.
Right.
And it's like, I don't know what's wrong with this picture.
Yeah.
And we're getting the airplay. And then we move on. We had Andy Johns. Michael and I loved the drum sound on the Cinderella record that Andy
Yeah.
Johns. We
I
just,
think you're getting to the story that I was that
we
cut
loved
out.
it.
Yeah.
We
Right.
absolutely loved the drum sound. I mean, forget everything else. Forget the great Tom Kiefer. Forget all of that.
Right.
We loved the drum sound. We wanted that drum sound. And
Yeah.
so there was a couple of other producers that was introduced to us via management, and we went, nope, we would love Andy Johns in on this. And Michael was clean, and then Andy comes on the scene, and Andy is hard ass and
Hmm.
a very different
Right.
set of tools, and so it was an interesting time trying to get those two
Hmm.
characters to
Right.
work in a cohesive and productive fashion.
Right.
Productive, and I use that term lightly. And so Andy came into Hanover in Germany, which is where Michael was living, and Rudolph. And we went into pre-production, and then we went to a studio called Puck Studios way up in Denmark.
Mm.
No idea why. I don't know why. A stupid budget, really.
Mm.
And that's where we ended up. We were up there in the middle of a field somewhere with this absolutely amazing studio. George Michaels was recording his Faith record
Mm.
in the A room right next to us. I think we had 1.5 feet of snow. We were surrounded. We were isolated. And Andy, oh my God, it's the classic Andy Johns. Andy was in love with Lou Graham's solo record,
Hmm.
and he had Midnight Blue on there, and
Yeah.
it was on cassette, and he
Mm.
was flogging that cassette as we were traveling up to Denmark. Then we get into the studio, I think maybe 1:30 in the morning.
Mm.
And he has to check out. He has to check out the monitors in the studio. Sticks the cassette in, whoomph, and
Oh,
he blew all the woofers. Blew
oh wow.
everything in the studio. 1 o'clock, 1:30 in the morning. We were down for 3 days as a
Wow.
result. So we didn't start like we were supposed to start. And you know, when you get a bunch of musicians who are
Hmm.
isolated and there's alcohol around,
Right.
things gets a little loose.
Yeah, for
And
sure.
so we got the job done. We got the job done, and then we came back into Hanover, and eventually came back into LA, and finished all the overdubs and the mixing. And
Nice.
I don't know if that's what you want to hear.
Well, well,
I'm leaving out here.
the story I think was something about how he got the drum sound.
Oh,
Something. Remember, I think there was something with
well, yes.
involving involving a
A swimming
firearm.
pool. Yeah. Oh my God. So when we were at what's the studio we were at in Hollywood? Why am I forgetting? But anyway, initially the drum sound started at Rudolph's studio,
Hmm.
and Rudolph's studio had a swimming pool in the
Hmm.
main part of the studio, but he had a special floor over the
Hmm.
pool, right?
Oh wow.
And everything was soundproof. It was unbelievable. It was incredible. So Rudolph said, you know, you can take the top off the pool, and the pool is empty, and
Right.
maybe we could put the drums down into the pool.
Oh.
Which is funny because this is what we did with Black Swan on Generation Mind, you know.
Oh, nice.
Um,
Yeah, oh, that's right.
so, right, so we put the drums down into the pool and started to record, and then Andy had one of Michael's guitar techs actually physically cut a 4x12 Marshall cab in half and bring it down underneath the pool, reassemble it, and mic it up so that we could play with different guitars.
Wow.
Right?
Wow.
This was just there. Then when we came back into LA to start recording, Andy goes, you know how I got that drum sound for Cinderella? And he comes into the studio and he's packing 2 Colt 45s. Right?
Yeah,
He
right.
got, right? It's a man on the loose.
There you go.
All right. So he comes in and he ordered a huge sandbox. So we got a sandbox into the studio, and he took one of the used snare drum skins and planted it up just right above it, on it with overhead mics, and just
Mm.
and Andy was fired up several rounds and recorded it, and that's how we got our drum sound.
That's wild.
I'm not sure. I'm not sure people do that anymore.
Right. Yeah, I don't think you could get away
You'd
with
have
that
a SWAT
anymore.
team. You'd have a SWAT
Yeah, no
team around
kidding.
the studio.
Oh, yeah. So I just got
That's how we got our drum sound.
I got a couple more things and then I'll cut you loose. Thank you for your
Oh,
time. It's been fun as always talking
there's a
with
lot
you.
of stuff.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff. Real quick, favorite McAuley Schenker song to perform, and I got to say too. I mean, you did while Perfect Timing was different, and it was different having you fronting the band. Man, that "Give Me Your Love" is still one of my favorite Schenker tunes
Oh,
ever. So
thank
I
you.
really enjoy it. Everything came together on that one. But what's your favorite McAuley Schenker era tune to perform?
Well, Era, I loved the way we picked it up a notch on the Save Yourself record.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of the shows that Michael and I would do, we would actually open the show with Save Yourself. There's an amazing piece of footage from Loud Park in Japan with like 45,000 people, and that guitar intro kicks in, and you
Right.
see that crowd going absolutely ape. And the sonically it sounded just like the record. It
Yeah.
was awesome. And I suppose because of the the leg work that we got on Anytime, we have managed to perform Anytime to this day just like the record. And I get a lot of complaints online from people who go, how come I cannot get any of the tunes from on Spotify or on iTunes? And Capitol Records, if they're listening, Capitol Records never saw fit to put those records on iTunes, up on Spotify, so they're just not available to most people. You know, sure, you can go on there and you can play a track and stuff, but you can't physically go and download the stuff or whatever. So everything's, you know, given away for free.
Yeah.
So I suppose because of the success we had with Anytime sat at number 4. You guys were awesome with it. Awesome. With it.
That was another great one. I always think of the video too for that one. Yeah.
And you guys were just tremendous on our journey at that time. It was just unforgettable. Unforgettable. Yeah.
Last thing before I cut you loose, I know you've I know the Raiding the Rock Vault, you've been a part of that. It went away, came back. Tell me about that, what you're doing with that, and kind of where that's taking place, because I think there was a change.
I was one of the original members right from the get-go. Performed Vegas with the show for like 7 years, almost 1,500 shows. 6 nights a week, then down to 5 nights a week. I was only home 2 days a week. And I don't live in Vegas, didn't live in Vegas. I worked and had an apartment and came home. And they invited me back post-pandemic. And I thought long and hard about it. And I went, you know, I kind of done the groundwork here. And when I got back with the pandemic and the Schenkerfest stuff started opening up, I thought, this is what I missed. When you're in a residency, it's actually, it's fantastic. But then once you get back out at a festival or you start doing tours and you go, this is the stuff that's in my DNA out there with this kind of, you know, the nitty and gritty of the touring, as opposed to a Vegas casino. And I'm not knocking it, but there's a huge difference. And I just want to, whatever is left of me, I want to continue doing this. So I declined the offer of going back in. I think I'll be back in for the 10th anniversary.
Okay.
Come March, I think.
Okay.
And I think there's some corporate shows involved with that as well, where they loved it, and a lot of the original members in that. Meanwhile, the show continues to move forward. They're over at Rio right now.
Nice. Yeah. Have you caught that without you in it?
No. I see lots of the people send me stuff and they go, where is you, man? And I'm going, you know, it's time for there's a great cast. Everybody has their own touch on it, you know. Right. It's a different show than it was. It's a different show than it was. Most of the original guys are not there, myself included. And it's time for a new cast, and that's all good. It's all good.
Well, there you go. Yeah. All right, man. Hey, love the record. Can't wait to see people's responses when they have the physical product. I'm going to be.
It's a beautiful. The vinyl and the jacket is just. It's awesome. It's really nice. Really nice. Very well done. It's a beautiful piece of artwork they have. Yeah, looks great.
Fantastic.
February
hey, thank
17th.
you. Yes, that's right. We'll put that in there in the intro as well. The February 17th on Frontiers. There we go. And we'll plug this on all the socials, add all your socials, get all that stuff. We'll put it on the We Go to 11 channel and get it on there and get everybody links, man. So thank you for your time. It was a pleasure as always.
Oh my God. And to you. Thank you for yours.
Hopefully we talk again, and maybe talk in Black Swan next time or something.
I would love that. Thank you.
Right. Fantastic, man. Take care and have a good one.
Yeah. Thank you.
Happy Friday the 13th.
Happy Friday the 13th. Feels like hell to me.
All right. There you go, man. Take care.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Bye.